Hey, what's up guys? It's Online Money 24/7 and today we're going to be going through how to find Shopify products for dropshipping or finding really that niche to get your store started. So, starting with the beginning, the criteria for this. So, you're going to want to find a product that is cheap with good markup potential. We're going to go more in depth on each of these bullet points, but I want to give you kind of an overall basis of what we're going to be going through. So, as you can see, first one, cheap with good market potential. Very important. Number 2, passionate following. Number 3, a big enough audience. Number 4, thinking viral. And can you expand this? Can you expand this business idea? So, starting with the first one, cheap with good market potential. So, that right here is a product that I actually previously sold on one of my Shopify stores. As you can see, it cost $2.96 a piece, and that was before shipping. Although it doesn't say what the shipping was on here, but I believe it came out to around $4 to $5 after shipping. Sometimes like $4.50. I'd say that's about the estimate. And so you could only imagine what I sold it for, right? Maybe like $10. No. I actually sold it for $19.95 on my store. So I had like a $15 markup after shipping, and I would have free shipping on my store. That's something I would recommend, is just to do free shipping on your store, because a lot of people, if you're going to do shipping, if you're going to charge shipping, a maximum that you want to charge shipping is usually around like $9.95, around the $10 range. People aren't going to pay over $10 for shipping, and that's just something to keep in mind. I always have done free shipping, and it's worked out well for me. But yeah, I had a $15 markup on this toothpaste here, and man, that sold quite a bit. It was one of my extra products. It wasn't the main product that I was focusing on with this store, but it was definitely a top seller out of my side products that I would fill my store with, kind of as like an upsell, but like extra products that people would just typically go and buy. And this is one of those common ones. And I had a $15 markup. So that's something to keep in mind, is you want it to be a cheap product with a good markup. And the product could be like $20 on AliExpress. This is just AliExpress is the most popular Chinese place that you can buy your products from and supply your stores, but there are also other Asian websites that you can use. It's just AliExpress is the easiest to get started with because you can connect it to Oberlo, which I do plan to have other videos in the future about, kind of going more in depth on that. But focusing on the products, definitely find something cheap. Because if you don't have a good enough markup, if someone asked to return the product, you would be screwed if you just paid like, $30 for a product and it never gets to the customer and they request a refund. Well, you're out the product money. So it's good to make sure that your product is not too expensive, so that if you have to replace it or send them a second one, it's not a big deal because it's super cheap and you would have made tenfold over it anyway. So just keep that in mind when you're setting up your stores. You want to have a large margin for wiggle room, not just only for profits, but yeah, also for wiggle room if someone requests a refund or something like that. Kind of like a little bit of extra money just in case things go wrong. Definitely something to do with your stores. So moving on more into the niche research, is that you need to have a passionate following with the products that you're going to be selling. Because if people aren't really passionate about it, so say, for example, someone was trying to sell, toothbrushes, and they were selling basic toothbrushes. There's not really a passionate following around basic toothbrushes. So you want to find something that people actually care about, that has kind of like an audience around it. So the examples today, I'm going to be going through a couple of them. The first one is Kylie Jenner. So she is a beauty influencer. She is number one. She is definitely number one. She might even be number one in terms of Shopify, because her store although it looks a little different, she has a custom theme that has been made for her. She has a whole team behind her. It's obviously not just, she probably does nothing with the website and fulfillment. She's literally just the face of the brand and takes pictures. But she sells beauty supplies, cosmetics, and she sells a ton, like millions upon millions of dollars worth. Obviously, she has a huge brand. She almost has 100 million followers on Instagram. But this is an example to show you kind of like, she obviously has a target market. A lot of younger girls look up to her because she's pretty and she has this kind of like aura around her with the fashion and all that kind of stuff, and sells the makeup, sells beauty effectively. She's selling beauty and then supplies with beauty cosmetics products. And as you can see, it's linked to Kylie Cosmetics, and that's the website that they sell. I say they because it's obviously not just her. She has a huge team that runs her entire social media, the website, and all that. She, like I said, she's pretty much just the face of the brand. It doesn't actually really do any of the detailed, I guess, down and dirty type work of actually fulfilling orders and all that kind of stuff. But this is an example. As you can see, there's a passionate following behind what she does. So people are going to buy the cosmetics because they like her and they want to basically look pretty. I mean, that's kind of what she's selling, is to look pretty. So buy my makeup. And that's a fault. There's a certain amount of passionate people. There's people that are passionate about makeup, so they're going to buy from her. So that's just something to keep in mind, is you want to find a niche that has people that really care about it. So, a lot of people that want to look pretty or are more artistic, they want a certain type of color, they like doing their makeup, and it's an art form within itself. So going on to a second example, something maybe a little bit better for guys that are watching this video is bass fishing. So this guy, I literally just found his page. It's definitely a smaller page, it's still pretty sizable, about 174,000 followers. And this is a Bucks Bass Fishing. So this guy, I'm not sure if it's a kid that actually runs this or an adult, but there are kids that obviously buy from the store because those fish that are caught are people that have used the lures from this person here that's selling the fishing lures. As you can see, their shop is linked, and this is their store. It's a very basic Shopify store. This is actually the default theme. So they obviously don't, this probably is just one person who runs this site because it's very basic and bare bones, but it works. That's the thing. Like, you don't have to have a super pretty store as long as it works well and people are able to find what they are looking for. As you can see, the social media obviously has quite a following. People are buying from it, and it's working in this fishing niche. People that care about fishing, specifically bass fishing. That's another thing, is you want to go deep into a niche. This is probably a better example than the Kylie Jenner one because that's a bit more like, she has a, famous celebrity status, so it's a little bit harder to kind of compare, like, oh, what could I do? This guy is just a bass fishing, and that's the niche. And so obviously there's people that are passionate about fishing and are wanting to buy some lures from him. But moving more into the strategy beyond just finding a niche that you may know something about or you've done plenty of research about to know that there are people that care about it, you need to obviously have a big enough audience. So like I said before, Kylie Jenner's 98.7 million followers, and this page, just this page alone, the Bucks Bass Fishing, has 174,000. So there's obviously plenty of people that care about it. And really, when I say a big enough audience, I mean, you could be making tons of money from a very small audience if you're marketing to them well and they really, really care about the product. You don't have to have a massive reach, because honestly, out of the Kylie Jenner followers, out of that 98.7 million, I bet you more than half is just guys that are like, wow, she's pretty, and just like her photos and never buy makeup. So, and then even within the girls, there's a lot of them that are like, wow, she's pretty, I like her, never buy makeup. So there's a very small amount within that 98.7 million that actually buys the products, that actually converts. It's kind of like the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the people, it's a general rule of thumb. It's like 80% of the people will be caring about it, but only 20% will actually like really buy into it and go deep into the products and liking everything and buying everything that you would to sell to them. And same for this Bucks Bass Fishing. I mean, 174,000, that's still pretty dang sizable. And like I said before, if you're selling to a very niche down market that cares about it, it doesn't have to be a huge audience. It could just be something that people care about. If there's people to sell to, if there's enough people to sell to, you'll make sales. It's just, it has to be a sizable enough audience to be able to reach people through Instagram hashtags and posts and stuff like that, which I'll get into in the next slide on virality. But that's just something to keep in mind. Like, it doesn't have to be massive. It doesn't have to be the biggest audience. It's better to go more long-tail niche. Like, instead of just doing fishing, this fishing page is bass fishing specifically. So if they were to say fishing in general, that that may not get as many people because these people care about bass fishing specifically. So it's better to go more long-tailed niches and really cater to a specific audience. It's very important. So moving into the next thing, thinking viral. So going to the Bucks Bass Fishing, as you can see, there's a couple videos that are posted, which clearly aren't representing a product. They're just viral type videos. As you can see, like a shark, like, don't you want to click it? I mean, a lot of people probably click that. I was looking in this post, and the Bucks Bass Fishing posted a bunch of hashtags. That's a strategy to be able to get views and traffic to your Instagram page, and therefore more sales because people are going to inevitably click your link and maybe buy something from your site. Same with this other fish video. I mean, those two clearly don't have anything to do with the products or customers or anything like that. The guy in the middle is most likely a customer that's using a product, and he was like, hey, let me send you this picture of a bass I caught with your lures. So that's just something to keep in mind. Thinking viral, posting videos that will get you traffic within your niche. People that are going to like fishing are obviously going to want to see some crazy cool shark video on the left. They might also want to see what the heck happens to this fish on the right. If people care about bass fishing, they'll probably care about other fishing too. So that's just a way to get more traffic to your Instagram page, to your website, and make more sales. And then lastly, can you expand? So if you were to do the fishing store, you might want to start with, say, some basic lures. These are just some lures I found on AliExpress. And then down the road, maybe make some of your own products because you're going to have a better return on that, and it's better quality. And the shipping times are better as well, which is something I'll get into more on a future video. But yeah, like making your own products is definitely the end game if you're really trying to build a business. This guy, as you can see, the Bucks Custom Lures, these may be just AliExpress lures, but they also might be custom lures that this person is making for his customers. I'm not really too sure. I didn't do a ton of research on this store. It's just one that I found off of the fishing hashtag. But they might be custom lures to his own products, which is definitely the way to go down the road in expansion, is to sell your own products, because then you're not dependent on a Chinese seller. Because what happens if the Chinese seller stops selling your product? And then you're kind of screwed with at least that product. You're not able to sell that to your customers anymore, and you have to try and find another product. A lot of times on AliExpress, there is a lot of suppliers that sell the same product. So it's not too difficult usually to replace it if one supplier stops selling your product. You can usually find a duplicate, but sometimes you might be screwed, especially if it's a smaller item that's not as well known or not as well sold on AliExpress. Not as many suppliers are picking it up. Then yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Is you want to eventually expand and move into some of your own products that definitely help you out. So, lastly, Shopify. So if you guys have not already signed up, I actually have a 14-day free trial for you, linked in the description below, so you can go ahead and get started on making your Shopify store. I'm going to be doing a plugin video down the road as well for some different apps that could help you with Shopify. But 14-day free trial, definitely click the link below to get yourself started on making your store. I hope this helped you guys with figuring out some products or, niche research. And, figuring out your niche is definitely the most important part of starting your Shopify store and your business, because that's going to make or break whether you're actually able to even make sales, is if you're targeting people that care about what you're trying to sell them. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, leave a like. If you have any questions, leave that down in the comment section below. I'd be more than happy to help you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.